Hello and welcome to the Weekly Canon. I'm your host Clayton, and here to review the exhilarating 0-0 draw at the Emirates last night. The spectacle that was the champions versus the hopefully to-be champions. With me is Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike, 90 minutes of your life you never get back. Am I right?
That was disappointing, but it was turgid. Yeah, not good, not
Are
good at
you?
all.
Where are you on the? It's 2 points dropped. It's within the busy Christmas period. It's fine. We're 6 points clear. Like I'm fucked off, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm 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 fucked off with the performance and our inability to take that opportunity. Um, of the overview is, look, we have to say it. If you offered me this position at the start of the season and said you will, I've felt like it's a defeat. I've acted
same.
and felt
Yeah,
like
me
it's a
too.
defeat, and that's just sort of where we are, of in a bigger picture. I've avoided social media. I've woke up. I turned the game off almost straight away.
You
Woke up this
turned the
morning.
game off.
Sorry, yeah, no, no.
Oh,
As
at
soon as we
full time.
finished full time, I didn't want to see any analysis after.
Got you.
I just
Yeah,
like fuck that. So I've avoided. And that's I only do that when we lose,
yeah.
and it just felt like a defeat to me. So yeah, but if you I just wanted to say, if you said to us in August, you will be disappointed after a 0-0 draw with Liverpool, that it keeps you 6 points ahead of City, and what is it, 14 points ahead of Liverpool, I would have shaken your hand right there and then. But it's just that inability to push the opportunity. Because I think if we had, then we're in a very comfortable position. But yeah, it was a poor performance.
Yeah, I hear you on the, like, if you offered me this in August, but like we are in January now, and I'm like, I feel like that's enough time to kind of update your priors and stuff. And I just my biggest thing is, like, I believe you can win the league without winning a game like this or without winning at the Etihad, but I want to go and do that because
Yeah.
sure, it's a subjective narrative driven lens why I want that. So is it important? Probably not. But like, I don't know. Like, I do have to give Liverpool credit, to be fair. I thought tactically they were spot on, and like how much of it was slot versus it working in their favour with no Ekitike and having the extra midfielder in there, because the way they packed out that middle and consistently had an overload. I've never seen, never is a strong word. I can't remember seeing us overloaded that frequently in midfield. Like, it was scary. Like, every time they were passing it out, there was a spare man. I can't recall seeing that against us. Like, maybe PSG. So I have to give them credit, but like, it's the context of they were the champions. They've fallen off this year. That we're playing them in one of their worst moments, availability wise, form, rhythm. We were maybe in our best, and we shat the bed. Like, I think it's like, I think there's so much toxic positivity in Arsenal circles. It does my fucking head in. I think it's okay to be fucked off with the performance while still thinking the title race is, like, we're in a good spot. We're in a very, very good spot. The way you articulated it, of like January 6 points clear and stuff. But I still think it's okay to be disappointed with what are, in my opinion, informed and realistic expectations were of the game and of the performance versus the reality of what we produced.
I wanted a statement win. I wanted a statement performance. I wanted a side of champions. Um, I wanted a put your foot on their throat, and I can't. I know you can't. It's very easy to say that Liverpool have a very very good side, and as you said just there, they did play well. So we have to give credit to them for the second half performance. I think the first half performance, I thought they just low blocked us. Never seen a Liverpool side play like that against us. Um, they City did the same at the end of the game. So, but I think we needed to be a little bit more braver. I think the occasion. I think we froze. I think we shat the bed. Um, we. I just wanted a little bit more attacking verve. Um, and to be a little bit more courageous. And I think we sat on. They came for the draw in the hope that they could snatch a 1-0 smash and grab, and we looked nervous. And I don't know what the atmosphere was like in the stadium. You can enlighten us on that. Was there nerves going round? I know that has a huge ripple effect onto the pitch, but I think there was just a bit of hesitation from the players where they just looked off of it a little bit. And yeah, I'm more frustrated and really pissed off that we didn't take this opportunity. And we could have, we should have, and I can't get my head around why we played that way in that second half.
That's
considering. Sorry, just after considering that the second half that we've been having recently in Bayern Munich, in Spurs, in the Villa. And that's only recent, and we've almost got used
to an extent as well.
Yeah, but we've almost got used to like the first. I almost write off the first half. It's almost okay. We're going to jab away. We're going to sound it out, and then we're going to be explosive for the second half. And we were the opposite. So that was my frustration.
The biggest thing, I was the same as you. The biggest thing where you just said, why was that? I couldn't figure that out either. I left half time, I was like, what? Full time, left it, met up with my mate, like walked, went for food and stuff. So I had enough time to talk about the game, and both I just couldn't understand why. And like, I do think, like he even said it, I do think sometimes you just have to give the credit to the opposition. Like, I think they completely got it spot on in how they played us. Like, I personally don't care about this whole do they come to low block and stuff, because we've done it in multiple times, and I do believe it is a strategy to sometimes get the best, especially if they're without a number 9. Like, as much as they low blocked it, what they did in possession was fucking smart in periods. The way they were passing through the lines and stuff, like they were running circles around us. I have got to say though, like I believe, I can't remember the timeline of this exactly. I believe there was a period in the first half where our intent was correct. We were getting into dangerous areas. I feel like Saka maybe put the ball across, or like skinned Kirkes. Like there was a couple times it just felt like the wave of momentum was coming, and then something stopped it, and it just felt like we never regained that back. And that was my biggest frustration. I felt, again, I can't remember the timeline. Like if anyone's watching live and had a similar feeling and remembers when it was, like drop it in the chat. But I had a feeling we were really growing and purring and it was coming, and then something just shifted it, and it never came back, in my opinion. And then, yeah, I think my biggest thing is I'm similar to you in like I don't write off the first half, but I have an incredible confidence coming into the second half because of how tactically spot on our manager is. I don't think he what am I trying to say? I was going to say I don't think he assessed and identified what the issue was and fixed it, but I'm sure he identified it. I just don't think he fixed it, because I didn't see anything that really changed in the sense. Like for me personally, the biggest issue was the midfield overloads. Like packing out the middle's fine. Like I could see we were trying to put Nketiah, Timber in like the kind of half spaces to isolate our wingers. Like I can see what we're trying to do. I didn't see what we were trying to do to negate them always having a spare man in build-up in the middle phase. And that's my biggest disappointment. I always see him fix an issue at minimum half-time. I didn't see that at all. So, yeah, that was my biggest frustration, to be honest. I'll just shout out, excuse me, got FPL Tanking. He says, I can't understand why we didn't go long sometimes and target Kanate, who has been so bad this season. Marino should have come on too, in my opinion, in the second half. I meant Marino as a striker in the second half, not in the midfield. Yeah, I slightly disagree on the going long, because I feel like we did, and it just went to no man's land. Maybe it's linked to like if Marino was there, but yeah,
I think that spell was you're talking about. I think it was the first 20 minutes, wasn't it? And and Saka had Kirkes absolutely on toast and done him 2 or 3 times, and it was just give the ball to Saka, and then he seemed like he got Kirkes done him, and he got a stamp on his foot.
Yeah.
and then it seemed to quieten him down after that.
He
And
screamed at that one, didn't he? I heard that from my
yeah,
fucking seat.
yeah. So that looks a bit. That may have had an effect, but I think we just needed to capitalize on that first 20 minutes. The momentum was building. It started to look like we were getting something. But I've got to say it now. I was looking at 10 men playing in our team. There wasn't a number 9 playing in our team.
Yeah, I would like to revise what I said on last week's podcast, where I think we were on the back of a little podcast break. The feeling was good. It was 4 wins in a row. The minute it comes back to the feeling of playing with 10 men, I just want to say this guy's not fucking good enough for Arsenal Football Club. I'm sorry. He's not. Like, he will. I stand by what I said in the sense, I think he'll score goals at some point this season. I think there's that stretch of air quotes easy games in the run in. I think with Havertz back, with Jesus back, if he's not having to play 90 every game, he will score goals. He is just not at the fundamental technical level for Arsenal Football Club. Like, you see it in warm-ups where, like, I joked to the guy next to me. I said, like, anyone that's played Sunday League, like, it doesn't have to be a good level. Sunday League, you can spot the joker in the pack who is just not on, like, it's relative to the level you're playing, right? But like at Sunday League, let's say everyone's a 3 out of 10. You can spot the guy that's a 1 out of 10 technical level. If you're semi-pro, everyone's a 6 out of 10. You can spot the guy that's a 2 out of 10 technical level. At the Premier League, where everyone's technical level is a 9.9 or a 10, Gyökeres's technical level is a 7.5, 8. And like that gap is so huge, and it's his inability to. I'm sorry, like I said this in a group chat this morning. People, in my opinion, are overanalyzing it. Like, what profile of centre forward suits us, and do we need someone that can drop deep, facilitate, runs the chat? Like, a good centre forward would score a fuck ton of goals in this team. Aubameyang was a 20 goal a season striker in what, a top 4 team, if that. We had Van Persie carry some of the, not some of the worst Arsenal teams, but like, again, top 4 teams on his back. Like, I've said for so many times when we were linked with number 9s, you get an, I thought Gyökeres would be this, by the way. You get a number 9 that informs where the pass goes with the movement. He is not that. Mate, I'm really having to bite my tongue to stop myself from saying what I really think, but I'll leave it there. Like, he's not good enough. And I, personally, if the right striker was on the market in the summer, I would sell him.
I sat there and watched 10 minutes, just him.
Right.
Or just focused on him, as well as the other game, but I just wanted to just focus on him because I'd done the same with Calvert-Lewin. No, I'd done the same with Calvert-Lewin last week.
He offers more.
He is on his toes. He's got the movement. He's just got something that Gyökeres hasn't got. He's got the Prem little, he knows what it's about. He's got it. He's got. We can argue the quality of him, but he knows how to create space in the Premier League, which is something that Gyökeres hasn't been able to so far. Now, if you offered me a swap right now, I'd probably take Calvert-Lewin, and that's absolutely madness. But we spoke about it, and I've completely overhauled my expectations of this guy. If we win the league and this guy gets us 7 goals, thank you very much, mate. You've done a job. Let's ship you out. Fail fast.
Yeah,
fail fast.
Yeah.
Don't slog him for another 3 years. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Get him off to West Ham in the summer. Get him off to Burnley or whoever.
My mate Andrew, who's like always in this, he said it and it hit the nail on that. He just feels like an Everton centre forward, and it's like, yeah, he is that school of Barry Beto. Like, he's fucking pony, mate. Like, I feel for him, like, because he is a human. He seems like a nice guy. He seems grounded. He seems like he works hard, but he's just not good enough, unfortunately.
I want to back him because I always back Arsenal players. I don't want to slag him, but you also have to realise you're right, and we've seen enough good and excellent and world class, and also some shit at
Yeah.
Arsenal. And we've seen the levels from there to there and at the moment we're entitled to say, look, mate, you're there. You need to do a lot more to change our opinion. Now, if he could, I still believe he will grab a couple of very, very important goals along this next 5 months. Is that enough to make him a successful
Well,
signing?
it's kind of relevant to this point from my mate Tevin, who's a Liverpool fan, and he said lessons from us with Nunes: get rid as quick as you can. And Nunes scored important goals for them. It did not mean you justify him as a place in that squad for the outlay they gave. Like I can't remember how long they kept him and stuff, but like they fundamentally made the decision to get rid, right? And yeah, it's he can score 7 goals, and I'm very much on the camp of kind of what you just said. Like, thank you, off you trot, mate, because he's just not good enough. Like, I do want to have the conversation because I will be honest with Havertz in his first half season. I was more siding with him than others, but it wasn't me thinking he's going to be a number 9 in this 15-game winning run. That I don't know what his output was, but I remember he was contributing regularly. Like I never saw that, but I did. I was more encouraged about Havertz at the same part of the season than I am with Gyökeres, and it's for different reasons. But I'm wondering, am I just cutting this guy short? Like, I don't know. I look at very basic things, and the basics are the things that will never leave you. Like, I can forgive being in the wrong bit of the box when you're new to a system or angling your run the wrong way. But the basics of how you control a football, and especially as a number 9, like as much as I just excuse the movement, I do feel like there should be a baseline level of movement. Like you said about Calvert-Lewin, I know people will laugh, but you're right, mate. Like his movement is better than Victor Gyökeres. Like, I'm not saying he's a better footballer. Well, I think I might be, but yeah, I don't know. The Havertz thing is interesting because I have seen a few people say, look, Havertz was the same, which is fair. He didn't really light things up. I think it was around now, right? Or February. Yeah, it was post Dubai. He kind of came into that team. So January onwards and was brilliant. So where are you in terms of that comparison?
I also want. He was bought for shots, and he's not getting shots off.
7 games this
Yeah.
season there has been with
So that's a
0 shots.
disappointment. Now, whether you can still. The other, I just want to also, it kind of leads into it, is the amount of cutbacks that we're doing that aren't finding a player on the 6-yard.
Did you see
line.
Arteta's quotes about that?
No.
So post game, he was asked about that, and he was I'm paraphrasing. It was positioned as like, is that the delivery or is that the movement of the people in the box? And he was like, it's the delivery. He said the people are standing in the right spot and stuff. So how much of that is him saying what he thinks versus protecting Gyökeres? I don't know. I believe, in my opinion, it's a combination of both. But I do believe you should be able to read. It's intuition, and your intuition is fed by subtle actions and movements in like the shape of someone's hips and like the way they're moving and stuff, and that informs where you dart. I just don't think he has that.
It's like a wardrobe on the 6-yard line that just hasn't got that guile to drop a shoulder or to do that. It's just a moving wardrobe. I'm starting to put him into the Lacazette kind of
lack of threat.
Yeah, Lacazette always looked like he was carrying a fridge on his back, and I'm starting to think that that's what our friends here is doing. But I don't want to go too heavy on him because
I think we have.
but you have to be honest. But then I also I'm not writing him off completely. He is going to be a squad option now, but then you compare him to Jesus, right? The box of frogs, Jesus.
Yeah.
At least in Gyökeres, what you want is you do want that striker that is a focal point, or a Marino that's been mentioned, that you can play the ball up to, and should be able to hold the ball up, and that's what Havertz does. Jesus, he is very, very silky on the eye, and he's got the touch, and he lulls you in with that beautiful, sexy football. but he's not. Where is he on the pitch? He's 1 minute he's here, 1 minute he's there, 1 minute he's there. I do believe you've got to play Jesus when he's fit, because you've got to get the best out of him. And I did like that sub of them two coming on, because I was hoping that was going to
You
spark
said
something.
this last week about pairs
Yeah.
and stuff, actually, didn't you? Yeah.
And it is the pairing, isn't it? That
Yeah.
because they do seem a good combo, those two. But then I want to see the Eze Marino combo again, because that was our most successful pairing so far this season. Is a just off of that. So it was the whole game was just a turgid, a bit of a affair, and I don't think there's a. We were just so disappointed. I think we just needed to take advantage of it. And you can go through the team. Saliba and Gabriel were just allowed to come out with the ball, weren't they? And that was their trap. But they wanted to take the ball off of us there, and we just didn't take advantage of. Didn't have enough threat. And I think, did you see the stat though, that it's the first time in 600 games Liverpool haven't had a shot on target.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so what a trophy. But yeah, it's the first time in 600 games that they haven't had a shot on target, and it's the lowest backline that the Premiership has. That first half,
It's the what?
Was the lowest defensive backline in the Prem this season.
What do you mean lowest? Like meters or something?
Yeah, in meters was their average. So they did sort of low block that first half.
I thought you could really see them growing confidence as the game went on. I think initially they came to kind of park it, take a draw, maybe hit us on the counter, and then I think that post 20 minutes they smelt blood, in my opinion, or maybe not blood, but they weren't fearful because we gave them no reason to be fearful.
I think they sussed us out, didn't they? They was like, "Oh, you're not going to come at wave. You are a little bit hesitant. You are a little bit edgy. You haven't got the Martin Odegaard flow and the hips are moving and Saka's. You haven't got that connection. It just was just the press looked a bit off. Odegaard was going. Gokaresh was just running side to side.
The press was horrendous. Yeah,
it was bad.
What was that down to? I forgot about it.
You could see it, and there were so many times Odegaard it was just all off. The spacing wasn't right. Everything seemed.
What do you put that down to?
I don't know. Was it? I mean, fuck me. I'm going to start sounding like AFTV here. Was it the weather?
Oh, fuck.
Was it? No. But I'm not saying that. But that's what is it down to? What is it down to? Why? Well, there was a game recently where it was before the Villa game where everything looked off. That half, and we've gone back to that, and that's what I'm worried about. Is that we seem to be in a direction that we got it right with the Villa game. We played well in the Bournemouth game, but that second half performance, I haven't seen us come out of a second half and look as bad as that for a very, very long time. So that's my concern.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is like, it's the Wolves game was bad, but like there were individuals that did well within that bad. This is the first game I remember where everyone was subpar, in my opinion. Like, and maybe it's harsh on the centre backs, but like they weren't as involved in what we were trying to do. So like I'm just thinking about everyone from the midfield above. And can I say an unpopular opinion? I would have brought Madueke on for Saka a lot earlier than he did. I thought that game, and possibly Eze, but the Eze one I understand where he's not played so much recently. But Madueke has... I understand the lack of ball security you get with him. I understand the potential for turnovers with him. I just think the upside of the risk and the chaos he brings in an environment where you're trying to create that is so much more than the downsides. And I think you could see it the minute he got the ball, the first thing he did was took on Kirkers, and I think he drilled in a great cross and no one was there. And then I know he lost the ball a couple times, but I just thought the game needed him. And in my opinion, after Saka got stood on, he did nothing. I thought he was absolutely embarrassing, if I'm honest. And I feel like people are way too protective of him. I think he was awful after that. incident. And I believe Madueke should have come on a lot earlier, in my opinion, because he brings that threat that we didn't have.
You can see he has worked on his off-the-ball game as well. There was one occasion where I think he did lose it, and they were on the break, and he sprinted like 40 yards down the yard on the touchline, won the ball or give it out for forward. So he is starting to switch on a little bit more, which is what I wanted to see from him. Which is he needs to be trusted from Arteta, doesn't he? I think it was a very Arteta dilemma. If I keep Saka on, who's not producing anything, but he will give me the technical security and the defensive actions that I need in this game, because that was their game, Liverpool, wasn't it? They wanted to catch us like that, and then Frimpong was
fucking rapid, isn't he?
Rapid. So I think that was their game.
Rapid though.
Yeah.
He's fucking fast though, Jesus.
I think that's why Saka was on for that sense. But Madueke would have been. The game needed chaos. The game needed a bit of a breakout.
It needed unpredictability.
Yeah, and I don't think, and that's why we bought Madueke and Eza, and then you're starting the game with you're sort of doing the same old thing, and I don't think we were brave enough to go for it. I think we were so worried about losing 1-0 that we didn't have the bollocks to go for it, and that was my frustration. And at the end of the day, I can kind of see it, because a point's a point and all of that, but sometimes you just have to go for it, and you just have to put the bollocks on the table and say, fuck off, we are taking this game, and whether we lost 1-0 or not, or 2-0, at least could have gone for it a little bit more.
Yeah, spot on. I'm completely in agreement. I'll just read out some of the comments in the chat before we wrap up the Liverpool game and look ahead to Portsmouth, do the predicted lineups, have a meltdown when Aries not in either of ours, and all of that good stuff. Tev says, obviously, remember, Tev's a Liverpool fan, unbeaten against the potential champions, shamelessly taking that. And he does say, everyone leave a like. Thank you, Devano. CCK something 1995. Havertz is just a better version of Gyökeres. I can't work out if that's like Havertz prop or Gyökeres or Havertz slander. I fucking love Havertz. Sorry, no, I think it is Havertz prop, because he says Havertz is probably our best ex-Chelsea signing since Petr Cech. I didn't love Cech, if I'm honest.
Quick.
Yeah, agree. Fucking helmet.
Literally.
Where I had another one that I wanted to read out. Pontus Johansson, Mr. Sweden. We all knew Gyökeres was a gamble. No one knew if he would be good enough. I always said it, but it just wasn't another option that was better on the market. I do agree with that, but then I know you can't compare Ekitike to Gyökeres because of the fee, but and I don't know if Ekitike was attainable for us, but was he worth the extra 20 to 30 million? Full stop. I don't know. Pontus also says on Gyökeres, there won't be a market to sell him, so we will have to keep him. Only option is Saudi, and I don't see it happening. I disagree with that. I do think there will be teams across Europe that would still take him. I just don't think we'll get with how his reputation is right now. I don't think we'll get our feedback. But if he finishes the season stat padding, then maybe we can. I think there's a club in Europe that will take him, in my opinion, or like your Evertons, your Brightons, West Ham are going down. That's a shame, because I feel like that would be perfect for them. Got Christopher Tellers in. Afternoon, gents. Hope you're good, mate. Eugene Ngosa, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, says, Insight 2020. I would take it if I was told at the start of the season that I will have 6 points gap in January, but lose and draw to Liverpool. A draw will help us to improve than a win. I see the Insight 2020 comment. Christopher Tellers felt so lethargic after the game and barely got much sleep, but thinking about it sensibly, as disappointing as it was, we're still 6 points clear of a City team that also has weaknesses. Just hope the players pick themselves up and get back to winning ways. Yeah, I don't want to. Everyone's entitled to feel how they feel. I personally want to allow myself to be angry at what I witnessed last night. I don't want to. I am in agreement, and we're in a very good position We're 6 points clear in a City team that does indeed have weaknesses. They probably have tougher places to go than we do, but I want to allow myself to be pissed off with what I watched last night and not force myself to be like, it's all okay. Like, I don't know. Maybe I didn't sleep much last night, so maybe I'm just grumpy. Here's a question. This is maybe the talking point before we move on to Portsmouth. Eugene, Miles is not a left back. We need to stop playing him there before he costs us games. If Calafiori and Hincapie will take long to return, it's better to bring in a left back. And I guess the question is, what is going on with Miles? Like, what's happened to him? Because the positional stuff is one thing, but he looks weak as well, in my opinion. He looks like a boy, whereas at the Bernabeu, he felt like a fucking man.
Looks like he's been found out, doesn't it? It looks like he's been worked out, played the ball over the top. He just looks so off of it. Such a different player to last year. The confidence is not there. That was him. It was the vibes, wasn't it? He built up an aura last year.
His confidence and
he was walking on the pitch. He's
FaceTiming his bird at the Bernabeu.
Yeah, everything's cool, man. And now he's like really, really struggling. But that is life as an 18-year-old footballer at a top club. I think it was always going to happen. We're seeing it live. We've got to go through it. He's got to play through it. I think that's the only way. And I think, and with the Hincapie potential injury,
well, did they say on TV what that was?
No, it didn't. No, didn't. Yeah, it didn't say. It just limped. Well, he
did it look like a hamstring? Because I couldn't quite.
Well, he looked like he struggled. Well, this is the mad thing. He struggled, so you could say he was struggling, and they did mention that. And then the next thing, you could sort of see him say to something to the bench, and then the next thing he's put on a mad sprint, a 10-yard sprint to make a challenge. And then he's gone back and said, yeah, I'm injured. So how much damage he could potentially have done in that sprint, I don't know. It looks like a hamstring, or he was certainly stretching his leg. So we've got Miles is going to have to play, looks like, the month of January.
Yeah, and isn't it 4 competitions
4 away
in
games.
10 days?
4 away games.
Yeah.
So we've got 4 away games, and he's going to have to play 90 in all of them.
Is there anything else you want to cover?
Unless you've got White. No.
I guess, does that inform Portsmouth predicted lineup?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we need to do War and Peace on Portsmouth. I can't confess to have watched a single minute of them this season. They are 21st in the Championship. They're 1 point above the relegation zone. Norwich are 1 point behind them. Oxford 3 points behind them. Sheffield, I forgot about Sheffield Wednesday's points deduction. I saw -7 now. I was like, what the fuck's that about? So yeah, they're not doing great.
Is Harry Redknapp still manager?
No way, is he?
No. I said, is he still the manager?
No, I wasn't sure if he went back or something.
That's probably the last time I watched the Portsmouth game. That's what I'm saying.
Bloody hell.
It's going to be Rotate FC, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah, just looking at their recent results, their game against Ipswich was actually postponed, and I believe it was because of weather. And now it is fucking cold down south at the minute. So
there's a storm tonight and today. So it could actually get postponed, you know. And I don't think it's more for the pitch. Part of the pitch was frozen, but then you've got to start thinking they postpone stuff for the infrastructure, don't they? It's the roads, the stadium, it's the pavements, it's that kind of shit. So I wouldn't be surprised it's Sunday. Being on Sunday, it might help. I think there is bad weather across the UK, certainly down that side.
I do think there's a very real chance this does get postponed. Yeah.
Do you think that does us a favour or not?
No, I think this game's come at a good time in the sense of getting a rest for. Well, I guess it will be a rest regardless if the game's postponed, right? But I was going to say a rest for the air quotes first teamers, and then get some minutes into the legs of your Eze's and players like that. A couple of the guys in the chat, Christopher and CCK, are saying, hopefully Havertz gets some minutes and the return of him. I'm not so sure because was he on the bench on yesterday? No. So I'm not so sure about that, but I don't know. Maybe, I guess if it gets postponed, it has to go somewhere else, right? So not sure. I think I'd rather just play it, to be honest. But then because you don't know if you play it another time. Sure, on one hand, we may have Hincapié, Calafiori, Mosquera back. We may have others in the front line missing with how this season's going. So, should we just go into predicted lineups?
Yep.
FPL Tank is saying Timber at left back, White right back. Go on, I'll let you take the lead on this. What do you think the team will be? And then I do want to have a chat about Ethan after.
Yeah, so we go Kepa. We'll go White. We'll go.
It's annoying. Mascara's not around, right?
Yeah, perfect. It would be perfect, wouldn't it? And so it's going to be the two big boys, isn't it?
Do you think both of them?
Yeah.
Not Norgard centre back. Norgal.
Yeah, but then I was thinking of him
Holding.
Holding. So then I'm going to go Miles. I'll go Norgard. I'll go Jesus. No, I'll go Jesus up top to start, and I think Havertz might come on with 30 because I think Jesus is just working himself up to 60, and I think Havertz will get some minutes. I'll go Madueke, Martinelli, and I will go Ethan and Marino.
No Eze.
Oh. I just think you need an adult in there. You need someone with that press. I think you can be so loose. Although Jesus can press, you've got Madueke is getting better. Ethan is the unknown. I will hand it over to you because I'm interested to see if I'm interested to see if you have. I'm interested to see if you have Ethan in there.
I don't have Ethan in there.
Discuss.
It's the same discussion, unfortunately, as pre-Palace. I just don't know where he plays with who's available right now. The midfield, assuming the centre-backs are the centre-backs, the midfield picks itself, in my opinion, same as it did against Palace. Norgard holding. Marino's going to be in there because he's Marino. And then it's a toss-up of Eze or Waneri. Eze's going to win that. You then have Madueke on the right. Choose whoever the fuck you want. Trossard or Martinelli on the left. I agree it will be Jesus up top. I just don't know where Waneri plays. And this is where I am like, it is what it is. It's shit. It's really unfortunate. He's caught himself in a position where he's in probably the most stacked squad in Europe. Send the kid on loan. Get him minutes because this is a game he should be playing. But tell me who he plays instead of. Like, I would understand if it was like there's a glaring obvious one. And like, why the fuck's he playing Saka again? Why is he playing Odegaard again? Like, if Eze was injured, if Madueke was injured, like, I'd understand it. But they're not. They're fit. So I unfortunately just think there's no space for him. Have him on the bench. Hopefully we'll get the job done and he can get substantial minutes on. Like, maybe the only creative thing I could think is you play Eze or Madueke off the left. Martinelli and Trossard sit this one out. Then you play one of... So let's run it in two different ways. One scenario is Norgard, Marino, Waneri. Eze off the left, Madueke off the right. Another scenario is Norgard, Marino, Eze, Madueke on the left, Waneri right wing. Like that, you could do that if you sit down Martinelli and Trossard, and I'd be happy with that. I just don't think that's what he will do. Christopher Tellez does say apparently Bournemouth are interested in loaning him. Wonder if that materializes into anything, but he needs to be getting minutes. I would really like that, especially with Semenyo having just left as well. I think he just needs minutes. But there was some stuff doing the rounds that he apparently would like to stay and just be in and around the environment. I don't know how credible this source was, and I can't remember who it was, but I saw some quotes doing around saying apparently he'd like to just be in and around the squad for what may come this season and the learning experiences of that. So who knows? Sorry, I missed Bobby Loves in. Morning, lads.
He wants a title winners medal, doesn't he?
Yeah. I just think he needs to play, in my opinion.
You could say the same. This is the conundrum, isn't it? You could say exactly the same. Not to the extent, but if Eze or Ethan doesn't get game minutes in this game, and
Eze
Chelsea
150% will. I have zero doubt.
and
Eze
the
will.
Chelsea, yeah, but that's and the Chelsea game. If they're not, and also if they're not getting minutes in these games, then what games are we giving them minutes for? Are we just stacking them on the bench for the inevitable injury crisis that will happen and has happened? Will Arteta change his whole thing just to give Ethan minutes? No, he wants to progress in this competition. Could he be creative and get him in the side to give him minutes? Yes, he
He
can.
can, yeah.
And I think he should. I don't like it that he's been, and we don't know. This is what I don't want to go down that road, but I've got a. I just hope there's nothing behind the scenes that's gone on that has happened that he's been shut out in, because Arteta does that. He has got a bit. He's vindictive. He is. If he's done
Yeah, he's
something,
cold, yeah.
he's cold and he just shuts out. And I hope it's not that. And I really do, because I don't want to believe that we've got anything like that in our dressing room. Whatever, I don't know. But on footballing ability, this guy should be getting more minutes than he has had. You're right. There is. Who are you going to drop? There will be squads going forward there where some big players aren't even getting in the squads, aren't even getting on the bench. So this 18-year-old cannot expect to be first team guaranteed. But I think he'd be disappointed in the way his career has gone since signing that new contract. And maybe a loan option is the best way.
I having spoken it out loud, as much as I said I don't know where he plays, I would like to see one of those creative ones, because I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that, like, Trossard's very important to us, so I don't mind him resting anyway. And Martinelli wasn't great against Liverpool, and like he's very inconsistent, so I wouldn't mind seeing Eze on the left, Waneri right 8, Madueke on the right, or Madueke left wing, Ethan on the right wing, Eze, Marino, Norgard. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing that. If anything, I'd like to see that, to be honest, because I do. If he doesn't play this game, he has to go on loan, assuming he also wants to and prefers that than sitting on the bench for the rest of the season. I'd like to throw an alternative 11 out there from Bobby, who's put his in the chat. He says Kepa, Salmon, White, centre back, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Norgard. I'm confused on the order of this. I'll just read it as it is. Norgard, Madueke, Waneri, Eze, Martinelli, Marino. Yeah, that will be fluid.
There's a chance Salmon could get a game, do you think?
Maybe. I'm hesitant about.
It depends on who you're playing on that right-hand side, though, doesn't it? I think.
It feels like he's the sort of player that would get minutes when Josh Nichols did. And do you remember there was that game last season where there were like 4 Hell End boys and there was the 16-year-old keeper? It was like Carabao Cup at home, 3rd round. I don't think he's quite Portsmouth away, but maybe I'm over-indexing on the perceived old school banana skins of your Bradfords and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I still think it will be White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Miles. Couple more questions before we get out of here. Bobby says, one thing he remembers with Pep's best squads is he'd buy a player and they'd have limited minutes first season, and then second season would be starters once acclimatized to the demands of the team. Maybe we are at this point with Eze, Waneri. We have the depth to not need to force everyone in. Yeah, it's a good point. I definitely feel that with Eze. Waneri, I think, is more, he's just caught up in a stacked squad, unfortunately. Yeah. Is there anything more you want to cover before we get out of here? I guess we didn't do score predictions, right?
3-0 Arsenal.
3-0. I think this is, the magic of the FA Cup and all of that shit. I think, despite their league position, they're gonna chin us in periods in the game. Ha! That little, I got you nervous there, didn't I? With that little pause. Yeah, I think they'll chin us in periods in the game, and there'll be brute forces and stuff. I think we'll win it, but I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. I'll go 3-1. I do think they'll make us uncomfortable in periods. But yeah, fingers crossed. How important is the result for you?
I love the FA Cup, so I do love the FA Cup. I want to get number 15 this year because other teams are getting quite close. I think United are nearly level with us. So yeah, I want number 15 this year. So yeah, I love it.
I'm the same, and it for me, it will always be dependent on what fixtures are around it and what availability we have right now. I believe that team or a combination of the teams you and I mentioned, Bobby's one, is good enough to go and win and then arrive on Wednesday at Stamford Bridge, hopefully fresher with the players that are stronger to go and win that game as well. So
We can't have the squad that we've got and then put out so-called weakened teams and then just like, oh no, it's okay, we'll write that off. We
exactly.
need domestic trophies. It won't make a jot on Arteta's whether he gets, he has to win the league this year or not. But we need, as a fan base, we need days out at Wembley. So
well, that and these sort of players like Norgard, Eze right now.
That's why they've come here. They need minutes. They need minutes.
Exactly that. They need minutes. And if we're not going far in the FA Cup, we've only got 2 more rounds left of the Carabao. I don't know where else the minutes will come. So yeah, I think we need to win for different reasons as well, to be honest. But yeah, fingers crossed it's a big one. Yeah, I do like the FA Cup. It is the Arsenal Cup in it. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get the job done into the next round and take it from there, see where we're at. Hopefully we'll be able to review that on Monday or Tuesday. Uncle Mike,
Monday's good. Monday will be good.
All right, we'll review it on Monday and then we'll touch on the Chelsea game and look ahead to that as well. Lovely stuff. Yeah, disappointing that we dropped 2 points yesterday, but yeah, it's like Pontus said earlier as well, both things can exist at the same time. It's okay to be disappointed with the performance yesterday while acknowledging we are 6 clear at the top. It's January. We're in a good position. Hopefully City drop points with their remaining fixtures and stuff. But yeah, just focus on ourselves, try and enjoy the weekend, and hopefully we're into the next round of the FA Cup. Cheers, everyone. Up the Arsenal.
Come on, you Reds.